How you doing, Carl?
This reunion between Carl Byington and Geisinger orthopedic trauma surgeon Dr. James Widmaier was 15 years in the making. To understand what brought them together, a little background. Carl is a professional engineer and businessman who now lives in Georgia. He describes himself as an explorer, an adventurer, and an extreme athlete who enjoys hiking, scuba diving, and running marathons. But in September of 2003, Carl's active life came to a sudden stop. He was rock climbing with a friend in West Virginia when something went wrong with some protective gear. Carl fell 70 feet onto a rocky ledge. He recalls that terrifying moment.
And I'm looking down, and I'm looking and saying, those trees are getting bigger. They're getting really bigger. And just at that point, and all these slow motion thoughts are coming in there, I feel the rope jerk me and upright me, because before that, I was kind of falling face down, pancake style, and it jerked me at the last second, and I hit both my legs about 70 feet below from where I fell.
The bones in Carl's right leg were crushed. His friend and other climbers who witnessed the fall helped Carl off the cliff. A lot of time had passed. It was another 45 minutes to the nearest hospital. But once there, Carl, who lived in State College, asked to be flown to Geisinger Medical Center.
And I was fortunate that when they called Geisinger, Dr. Widmaier answered, and he said, yeah, we'll take him.
It's not every day we get somebody who falls 70 feet off a cliff. So his tibia went through his skin, his fibula went through the skin. I believe there was some missing bone as well.
For me, I'd always been a very adventurous person, an active person, and I was afraid that I might not have that part of my life again, and that was scary for me.
Several operations followed. Dr. Widmaier inserted steel plates and screws into Carl's leg to hold it together, and Carl underwent bone graft surgery to restore growth to the bone. At one point, though, doctors discussed the possibility of amputation because the injuries were so severe. But Dr. Widmaier did not give up hope. Neither did Carl. And by 2005, his leg had healed enough for Dr. Widmaier to remove the plate and screws that had kept Carl's leg together.
It was funny that he immediately just comes up to me. I didn't even have to ask him. He just pulls right out of he's wearing his white coat, he pulls right out of his pocket, and he's got this little plastic bag with my plate and all my screws in there. And he's like, I just knew, knowing you would want this. And you're like, I said, yes, absolutely right. I wanted those. Thank you so much.
Carl wanted to prove he could make a full recovery, so he started planning for, yes, another marathon. You might say his decision did not come to the delight of Dr. Widmaier.
And the first time I came in and said that, and he just said, Carl, you're an idiot. Just think about what we did. You know, he knew he could give me some tough love, and I probably needed it at times. And he said, just think about all we did to prepare you here. You almost lost your leg, the bottom of your leg. If you do something that distance, you don't know what the effects are going to be. You might cause permanent damage in there. He said, besides that, who needs to run more than 3 miles to stay in shape anyway?
But Carl was determined to run again. Months of therapy and exercise strengthened his muscles, and the following year, Carl ran a marathon where marathons began, Athens, Greece. The running did not stop there. 2 years later, Carl ran the Marine Corps Marathon in Washington, D.C., followed by a marathon in Chile, South America. In 2010, the Outback Marathon in Australia. Later that year, another in Malaysia, Asia. 2012 took him to Antarctica. And 2013, a marathon in Zimbabwe, Africa. Carl now has the distinction of being one of only about 100 people in the world to run marathons on each of the 7 continents.
Amazing, right?
Yes, my gosh.
Better than when y'all saw me last, probably. Yeah.
The day after his reunion with Dr. Widmaier, Carl returned to Geisinger Medical Center. Together with Dr. Michael Sook, head of Geisinger's Musculoskeletal Institute and chair of orthopedic surgery, both visited patients, offering hope and encouraging strength. Carl's next journey, perhaps a 2019 marathon at the North Pole. And Carl is trying to convince Dr. Widmaier to run with him.
When somebody of his ilk says that they're going to do something, they're going to do it. So you have to be along for the ride too.
I think it was not only that he saw in me a patient, but also maybe a kindred spirit. I think he and I all connected in a lot of ways. And he understood that it was not just about treating my injury, but also helping me regain my life. And that's something that, you know, I'll forever be grateful for.